charger? I don't have it here.
I only put this part of mine.
I don't have it here. I left. Let's call this meeting to order. Everybody please stand. Mr. Burdick, please conduct the prayer and flag salute.
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't know. Hello, everybody. Sorry that we are late. When we get into discussions in there, it gets really hot. It's great. So, let's get started here. In the event of an emergency, please use the rear doors. Everybody walk down the steps calmly, and after you clear the building, keep on going. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets right here below me. Please turn off all your cell phones. I heard the cell phone as we were doing the flag salute. Let's turn them off, put them away. If you need to make a call, please stand outside. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ormond. Mr. Byer.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Brooks.
Here.
Cosby Hurling.
Present.
Sadowski.
Here.
Strano.
Here.
Yamikaitis.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Hickey.
Here.
Mr. Alvarez.
Here. We're going to start by approving the minutes of the February 16th, 2016 meeting.
Council President, I make a motion for approval of the minutes of the February 16, 2016 meeting and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yamikaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. Can I please have Councilwoman Cosby Hurling, Councilwoman Yamikaitis, and Councilwoman Hickey come down to the front?
Is she here? Oh, that's your mom? That's for your mom? Okay.
We are here to honor, this month is Women's Month,
Women's History.
Women's History Month. Put a little thing in there, Women's History Month. And to be honest with you, if it wasn't for the women, we wouldn't be here. So we have chosen and two ladies from Linden that are going to be honored here today. Raquel Strickland and Mary Kostushko. Kosciuszko.
Like the Muslim.
Thank you, sir.
Come on, stand for your mom.
Okay. This is a resolution honoring Mary Kosciuszko during Women's History Month for 2016. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. Whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. Whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. Whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in the literature, teaching, and study of American history. And whereas Mary Kosciuszko is one such woman, and whereas after the sneak attack by the forces of Japan on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, on December 7, 1941, plunged the United States into World War II defense production became the priority of the county, and whereas Grumman Aircraft Corporation contracted with the Eastern Aircraft Division of General Motors to build the Wildcat Fighter, which is a carrier-based aircraft that was instrumental in winning the war in the Pacific at the General Motors facility in Linden. And whereas numerous women stepped forward to serve in the workforce and to continue in the war effort. And whereas Mary Kosciuszko became a Rosie the Riveter at the Linden plant where she worked on the Wildcat folding wing planes from 1944 to 1945. And whereas the mayor and the city council wish to recognize the many accomplishments of Mary Kosciuszko during Women's History Month 2016. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and the council of the city of Linden, that they do hereby thank Mary Kosciuszko for her contributions to the war effort, recognize her as a woman of achievement during Women's History Month 2016. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in the minutes of the City Council of the City of Linden, recognizing in perpetuity the accomplishments of Mary Kosciuszko, and a copy befittingly presented to her. Signed, George Alvarez, President of the Council, and Michelle Yamakaitis, Council President Pro Temp. Congratulations.
On behalf of my mom, thank you very, very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I told her about it, she couldn't be here. Yes. I told my mom about it, she's in a nursing home, and I'll give this to her tomorrow. She's very happy, thank you.
Thank you. Send us a photo, please. I'm just gonna say something real quick. We're also recognizing a young woman of accomplishments. She's not here tonight. Her name is Raquel Strickland. She's actually with the Linden High School French exchange students. So I will hold her recognition until next month, and you'll hear all of the awesome things that Raquel, at age 17, has done as a young woman of importance in our Linden community. And that's for next month.
Thank you. At this point, we're going to present the 2016 Unity Award for Achievement to Joanne Fruciano and Lori Gonzalez. Please, two ladies, come up.
You have your Autism Speaks pin on, I see. This is a proclamation I am very honored to present. This is a cause very near and dear to my heart. I will read this proclamation, and I just want to say thank you for all you do for the children of Linden. I have a nephew who's 15 that is autistic, and unless you have someone in your family that you really get to see how this affects their normal lives, they want to be involved with children, but sometimes they just can't do it. I recall when I took my nephew with my family to the circus in New York. He would not go in. I mean, what child does not like the circus? So this is a great thing that you are doing. I left the family, and my girlfriend and I took him back home on a train, but we're going to get him to the circus one day, so. Yes, so it's a great privilege I read this proclamation to these two ladies. Whereas Joanne Fruciano and Lori Gonzalez will be honored as on May 9th, 2016 by the Union County Human Relations Commission with the 2016 Unity Award for Achievement by an individual. And whereas Joanne Fruciano and Lori Gonzalez will receive this prestigious annual award, which recognizes ordinary individuals who do extraordinary things on behalf of the people of Union County and enhances the human spirit and quality of life by dedicating themselves to make things better for people and between people. And whereas Joanne Fruciano and Lori Gonzalez, in May of 2013, established the Union County Spectrum All-Stars, a parent-run organization for autistic children and their parents. And whereas Joanne Fruciano and Lori Gonzalez realized the need for this organization so that autistic children could gather together to just be themselves, where parents can relax and enjoy spending time with others without feeling judged, and where hopefully lifelong friendships will develop. And whereas Joanne Fuciano and Lori Gonzalez's Union County Spectrum All-Stars organization provides recreational programs, social skills development, monthly recreation nights, a parent support group, and a yearly autism awareness health fair to help raise money to cover costs of the programs offered and the organization's continued success. And whereas Joanne Fuciano and Lori Gonzalez, with the help of friends, therapists, local businesses, and parents, hope their ultimate goal is realized, and that is to develop a host of fun and safe activities for the children as well as a strong parent support group. And whereas Joanne Fuciano and Lori Gonzalez's Union County Spectrum All-Star organization opens their programs to everyone regardless of age and abilities, and have broadened their group to include those from other counties. And whereas Joanne Fuciano and Lori Gonzalez's motto is, "We are starting out small, but when we all work together for the good of the autistic community, amazing things can happen." And now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Derek Armstead, Mayor of the City of Linden, in the state of New Jersey, on this 15th day of March, 2016, do hereby proclaim that Joanne Fuciano and Lori Gonzalez have been and are invaluable members of the Linden community, as well as these children and families who deal with autism every day of their lives, and that they receive due recognition for being the recipients of Union County's 2016 Unity Award for Achievement by an Individual. Signed, Derek Armstead, Mayor of the City of Linden. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Do you just want to say anything?
I will say real quick, I just want to briefly thank Rashana Cosby-Hurling, because without her, we wouldn't have gotten started with the Linden Gregorio Center to house our rec nights, and Armando Medina for helping me with everything else and supporting all of our programs, and Linden Lanes for basically charging us nothing for our groups, and just the
John.
support of Linden in general for all of our programs. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys are amazing.
Ordinance number 60-3, tabled at the meeting of February 16th, 2016. The public hearing was already held. I need a motion to pass ordinance number 60-3.
To what? To pass it or table it?
Pass it.
Passed. It was tabled last month.
Which one is that? Council President, make a motion to, for the passage of ordinance 60-3 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling? No. Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. This is the date and time established for the public hearing for ordinances on hearing. Mr. Buda, can you please read ordinance number 60-6?
Bond ordinance authorizing the resurfacing of various streets in and for the city of Linden and appropriating $2,640,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,508,000 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
Has this ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone that wishes to be heard on this ordinance? In that case, can I have a motion?
I move for introduction of ordinance 60.6 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Mr. Porter, can you please read ordinance 60-7?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-10, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Delete Linden Avenue, east side, between Carteret Street and Park Avenue. Add East Linden Avenue, south side, beginning at a point 400 feet east of Carteret Street and continuing to Park Avenue.
Has this ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone that wants to speak on this ordinance? Can I have a motion to introduce the ordinance, please?
Council President, I move that the hearing be closed and ordinance 60-7 be adopted and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
No.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemekaitis? Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Porter, can you please read 60-8?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Section 7-12, parking time limited, shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Delete East Linden Avenue, both sides, from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m., Mondays through Fridays, from Southwood Avenue to the 300 block of East Linden Avenue. Add East Linden Avenue, both sides, from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, from Southwood Avenue to a point 400 feet east of Carteret Street.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Excuse me, is there anyone that wants to speak on the ordinance? Can I have a motion to introduce the ordinance, please?
I move for the introduction of ordinance 60-8 and ask for a second. Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemekaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Porter, can you please read ordinance 60-9?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-26, Loading Zone, shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Spruce Street, time Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m., on the west side, beginning at a point 96 feet north of the northerly curb line of West Blanky Street and extending to a point 270 feet north of West Blanky Street.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Does anybody want to speak on this ordinance? Can I have a motion to introduce ordinance 60-9, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt ordinance 60-9 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemekaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Porter, can you please read ordinance 60-10?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, 7-33.1A, handicap parking on street as follows. Add 119 East Henry Street, 1 space, 20 East Curtis Street, 1 space, 513 Alexander Avenue, 1 space, 500 West Blanky Street, 1 space, Southwood Avenue, the actual location, 3203 Tremley Point Road, 1 space.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Is there anybody in the public that wishes to speak on the ordinance? May I have a motion to introduce the ordinance, please?
Council President, make a motion for introduction of ordinance 60-10, ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemekaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Porter, can you please read ordinance 60-11?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-33.1A, handicap parking on street as follows. Delete 119 East Henry Street, 1 space, 4 Clinton Street, 1 space, 45 West 12th Street, 1 space, 513 Alexander Avenue, 1 space.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone wishes to be heard on the ordinance? Can I have a motion to introduce the ordinance, please?
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-11 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
yes,
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Buda, can you please read ordinance 60-12?
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Establishing a Schedule of Titles, Salary Ranges, and Regulations for Maintaining the Classification and Salary Standardization Plan of all employees of the City of Linden," passed August 15, 1995, and approved August 16, 1995, by adding Schedule 4-KK-1.
Excuse me 1 minute, please.
Sneaky.
Where am I? Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Does anybody want to be heard on the ordinance?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know what was going on, but I'm just guessing that there's a conversation about the department heads and whether or not their salaries are going to be increased in the ordinance tonight. What we did this year, well, we've been doing it, but what we actually made sure happened this year was that we looked at all department heads and the committees actually evaluated them. Hopefully, they did an objective evaluation. So then we are going to give merit increases to the department heads who warrant an increase. So I'm hoping that's what the question was, whether we're going to have increases.
Council President, may I respond? Yes, please. Yeah, I believe that was the question, and again, based on what we had discussed in personnel, we were going to address that ordinance in April. This ordinance, as introduced, is going to be adopted tonight. Mr. Antonelli had referred that we should have this adopted, and then any other additions we can do in April.
Okay, so I'm still going to vote no, though, because some people are getting raises that I don't believe should be getting raises, elected officials. That's all I'm going to say.
Council President, can I speak?
Yes, Mr. Brown, please.
Yeah, with the ordinance, with the salary ranges, to be clear with the public, is that many of our employees have not received any raises, I want to say, since 2004, I believe? Ms. Sack?
2013 were the end of most of the negotiated contracts.
2000. And so, and it's not a matter of we're talking about raises of 10, 15%. What happens is that employees did not receive any raises because contracts were not negotiated in time for these raises. And so we passed an annual salary ordinance. And so with Councilwoman Hickey, her committee, is that they negotiated salaries, I think, that have been fair, and I don't want to steal her thunder, but have saved us at least a tax point. And, you know, I'll let her speak more about it, but I'm in favor of these raises because, again, these are not raises that we've typically had in the past, but have been negotiated and finalized in contracts. So these raises reflect what was negotiated in contracts.
Thank you, Councilman. May I have a motion to introduce this ordinance?
Council President, I make a motion for ordinance 60-12 and request a second.
second,
Mr. Byer?
No.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
No.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
yes,
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Mr. Bode, can you please read ordinance 60-13?
An ordinance to amend and supplement a Chapter 7 Traffic. Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-7.3, temporary parking prohibited for snow plowing and removal shall be, and the same is hereby amended.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone that wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
Good evening. I'd just like to know what that means. The parking?
Yes,
Let me try. The language, this affects the the declared snow emergency roads within the city of Linden, and the language that allowed the start of the process of clearing the snow emergency roads from vehicles was hinged on a National Weather Service declaration. Sometimes that didn't, as in the case of this past storm, give us enough time, the police department and the public works department, to get the cars off of those streets. Once snow has started to accumulate, it is very difficult to get a tow operator willing to come in and pull the cars if we can't get people to voluntarily remove them. So we changed the process that allows for an emergency declaration based on certain conditions by either the mayor or the chief of police, so that we could start earlier to clear those roads of cars so they can be plowed curb to curb.
Okay, that's just those roads, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Can I have a motion to introduce 6013, please?
Council President, I move for approval of ordinance 60-13 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Communications consent agenda. All items listed with asterisks are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or citizen so request, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Items 1 through 6. Does anyone wish to remove an item? In that case, may I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the passage of items on the consent agenda 1 through 6, and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
I'll abstain.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Abstain.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. At this time, we're going to have the committee reports from members of the governing body. Councilman Byer, can we get started with you, sir?
Yes, you can. I have a committee report from Construction Code. That office has issued 101 permits. They processed 146 certificates for the month of February and generated $73,110. I already seen next month's report, Mr. President, and I'm pretty impressed with the numbers. I can't wait to read it next month. It's over $1 million. I have another announcement. About 3 weeks ago, there was a car accident on Lumber Street and West Blanky. The car turned over, it was on his roof. This is a residential area, people, come on. Cars just don't turn over on their roofs doing 25 miles an hour in a residential neighborhood. You got to obey these speeding limits and be safe. There's kids in these neighborhoods. I don't know if anybody got hurt. I didn't hear about a report, but please be careful. And I got to make a shout out. It's funny to say that, but the Linden boys basketball team are in Toms River right now playing their Tournament of Champions quarterfinals. The game just started at 7:30, and hey, wish them luck. This is the top 6 teams in the state right now. And we got a good chance of going all the way. So congratulations, Linden boys. Go Linden. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Brown?
Okay. I'm going to start with the Third Ward news first. I put on Facebook that we will be getting a 4-way stop sign on East Curtis and Maple, so that's right down the street from you, Council President, where we have that bend in the road. Unfortunately, the ordinance didn't make it this meeting, so we'll make it the April and May meeting. As a result, it will be installed in April. In other news, Councilwoman Armand is not here, but she and I are working together on an Easter egg hunt that will happen this Saturday, March 19th at 1 p.m. at Larson Park. So some invitations have been sent out to some of our residents and to students at School 1 and I believe 9. Now, on to my committee report. For the Budget and Review Finance Committee, approval is requested for the following finance actions. The payment of bills totaling $1,029,418.24 has been signed by the Mayor, Council President, Finance Chair, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in their clerk's office. Item number 2, we are in receipts of investments made by the City Treasurer for the month of February at the rate of 0.15%. I move for approval and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yamakitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, tonight we will be introducing the 2016 municipal budget. I would like to take the time to introduce the City of Linden municipal budget. The budget represents a total appropriations of $1,536,660.34 in expenditures for this year. I am pleased to announce that this is lower than last year's tax rate increase at $71.02 annually, which breaks down to about $5.92 a month. I want to focus on that is that last year, our municipal tax rate increase was the lowest since 2006. This year, we were able to get that number lower than last year. So, with the hard work of council members here and department heads, we were able to be trending in the right direction where we're stabilizing taxes to some degree. In this budget, we will be, again, focusing on the police department. We have appropriated money to hire additional 14 more cops to be out patrolling on our streets. We're focusing on improving and updating infrastructure in the police department. In addition, the police department is working on a body camera program for our police department and installing cameras in our parks and in our train station. In addition, we will be asking for a study to be done to see if we can get a new headquarters built for the police department. This is something that has been long overdue. In addition, we will be focused on public works again. We will be addressing the aging equipment infrastructure, adding at least an additional 7 laborers to the workforce, and providing additional training and CDL drivers. In addition, we will be adding another 2 one-arm garbage trucks. I think currently we have 3, so this will bring the total number to 5 by next year. Well, we're adding 2, so we'll have a total number of 5. So that will allow us to roll out the one-arm garbage trucks to other wards. So shortly next year, they will be receiving garbage trucks and be included with the other wards that we have. Let me see anything else. I would like to thank all members of the governing body for the assistance and recommendations for the 2016 budget. I would like to thank our finance department heads for their dedication and due diligence in preparing this year's budget. Please be advised that anyone interested in obtaining a copy of the municipal budget will be able to do so in the clerk's office from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you're unable to pick it up in the clerk's office, you are able to also print a copy off our city website at www.linden-nj.org, or you'll be able to view it at the Linden Municipal Library. Other than that, I just ask for the budget to be read and ask for approval.
Municipal budget of the City of Linden, County of Union for the calendar year 2016. Be it resolved that the following statements of revenue and appropriations shall constitute the municipal budget for the year 2016. Be it further resolved that said budget be published in the Union County Local Source in the issue March 24th, 2016. The governing body of the City of Linden does hereby introduce the following as the budget for the year 2016. Notice is hereby given that the budget and tax resolution was introduced by the governing body of the City of Linden, County of Union on March 15, 2016. A hearing on the budget and tax resolution will be held at City Hall on April 19, 2016 at 7:00 p.m., at which time and place objections to said budget and tax resolution for the year 2016 may be presented by taxpayers or other persons interested.
So, Council President, move for approval or introduction of the 2016 municipal budget and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes.
And one last note on the municipal budget. We do it every year. I want to encourage residents that council members usually have budget meetings in their ward. So if they do, we usually post that on the internet or on TV 36. I encourage residents to go to these meetings, so if they have any questions in regards to the budget, they will be answered there as well. End of report.
Councilman Brown, I want to thank you and your committee for a good job in keeping the taxes down. Good job. CFO, Mrs. Zach? Hello? Good job with the budget. Mr. Brooks, your turn, sir.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening. Let me start with what I always start with, the report from our traffic maintenance supervisor. I hereby submit the monthly financial report for the Division of Transportation and Parking. This report includes the collection of on-street parking meters, railroad parking lots, railroad parking permits, and merchant parking permits for the month of February 2016. New York side collections, $5,149.25. Trenton side collections, $5,567. Credit card transactions, $21,633.23. Parking meter collections, $12,996.65. Railroad permits, $453.08. Merchant permits, $98.08 for a grand total of $45,897.29. With regard to some really positive situations that happened within the Fourth Ward, and the ability for myself, the Department of Public Works, the Traffic Division to work together. During the heavy rain, we had a tree come down, a big limb come down, directly across the street from School 5. This was on a weekend. I get a call indicating that the tree was down, and when I got there, DPW and the Traffic Division and our tree guy was out there already, trucks already out there, prepared to take that tree down. This was directly across the street from School 5. This is a weekend, have a big limb down and a big tree that's right next to a person's home. Not only did they get the tree limb down, they removed the tree. So rather than students coming to School 5, elementary school kids coming to School 5, coming down Middlesex Street and running into a tree or a possibility of a partial tree down, the total tree was taken down. Great job, guys. I can't thank you guys enough for coming out on the weekend, staying out there, not just to take the limb down, but to take the total tree down. Appreciate it. Also, thank you to the Traffic Division for replacing a sign that was down on Bauer Street. The sign came down as a result of an accident there. It was a criminal investigation in that area. That sign had to stay down for a while, but the sign was picked up, taken to the Traffic Division, subsequently fixed, and now has been replaced. So that sign on Bauer Street that was taken down is now back up. It's a flashing sign, again, to assist the students coming to School 5 and also from crossing over to Roselle Street over to Seoul Middle School. So another great job. And another thing, it's difficult. At least people tend to think that it's difficult. The number of calls, that we get. The number of calls that I get from the Fourth Ward, I could not be happy. It was you guys that placed me there. It was you guys that put me there. I'll never forget that. I appreciate it. The calls that I get, and when someone says to me, well, I was surprised that you called back, don't be. I give you my phone number for a reason. Make no mistake, the Fourth Ward is important to me. I understand where it is I come from. This whole city is important to me, but the residents of the Fourth Ward placed me here to do a job, and I intend to do it. 908 406-8537. Residents, feel free. I got a call from a gentleman in the 3rd Ward assisting a 92-year-old gentleman in the 4th Ward, okay? Great job again. That gentleman called me and said, the guy put the trash out and he put it in the bag and they took the whole thing. I make a telephone call, I get back, Mr. Brooks, we took care of that. I made a follow-up call today, the guy could not thank me enough, just for returning the call. So, guys, listen, and you don't need, let me make this clear too, you don't need a third party to call me. Call me direct. You don't need somebody else, ask somebody else to give me a call. Call me yourself. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Again, 908-406-8537. Call me. I want to hear from you. It's important that I hear from you. None of us have eyes everywhere. The more information that you give to us, the more we can assist everybody. A call from the 3rd Ward with regard to the 4th Ward, a call from the 4th Ward with regard to the 3rd or the 10th or anywhere. We all love the city. Give us a call. We want to help. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Councilman. And you are right. We're there to serve the citizens of this city. Ms. Cosby-Hurling.
Hello. I'm going to give my report on the initiatives that I've been doing in the city first, and then I'll go to my personnel report. I wanted to just announce again the Hooked on Fishing, Not on Drugs program. We got additional children to register for that. We're going to have our next meeting. We're going to go to the pond. That's going to be this Saturday at 11 o'clock. We still have spots left for children who want to join the fishing team, and we'll be at the pond. The pond is going to be stocked after April 9th. However, there's still fish, and we're still going to be there, and this is an opportunity for the children to familiarize themselves with the safety, with the equipment, so when we do go live to the trout hatchery on April 9th, they're comfortable and they can fish and they can bring home their fresh catches. So that's going to be at the pond at 11 o'clock this Saturday on the 19th. I wanted to thank the Department of Health, and I think I did send a note to Nancy when I was on my lunch break the other day, that her department did an awesome job when they came and they gave us some blood pressure education. I was confused as to why we don't have that information on LindenTV on a regular basis, because a lot of people don't understand the importance of hypertension screening and, changing our behavior, and I'm guilty. So we had the wellness workshop. Again, I appreciate your staff. And we also had yoga. We had chair yoga, actually, which is something for some of us who are just trying to burn a few calories, de-stress, which is what we try to do to lower our blood pressure. So the chair yoga was awesome, and I'm anticipating an approval on the 21st from the Board of Education for Wellness Wednesday series, where we will have chair yoga. It's going to be a combination, so the expert yoga people can have their mats, and those of us who are novice can have our chair yoga at school number 4 for 6 weeks, starting on the 23rd of March. We're going to skip the next week and then go through April to the first week in May. Just something that I feel like we can do as a neighborhood together, and it's just an opportunity. No one has to pay for it. Come, see if you like it, and if it's something that you want to pursue for your own health and wellness. And we're going to do that. The class is limited, so if anybody's interested, give me a call, 908-718-7933, or send me an email. Registration is not required, but you don't want to get there and then have no space. So we're asking for people to just let us know in advance. We know that we have the first speed hump in the city of Linden in the 5th Ward, and we're going to get the additional speed humps on Dill Avenue near School 4 and the 5th Ward Park. I spoke to the engineer, and there were some concerns about some potholes still on Dill Avenue. Those are the same areas where the speed humps are going to be installed, so when we install the humps, those potholes will be taken care of. So they're going to be bid for the asphalt. That's going to be either April or May, per Mr. Verchik. I wanted to say thank you to Ms. Olivero and also to Ms. Flaherty's class at school number 4, and they gave me this really cute card because I was their guest at Read Across America. It's handwritten, it's awesome. And it was my pleasure, actually, to read with them. We had Sunday Chicken, which was a book that Mrs. Flaherty had chosen. It was an awesome book for these 4th graders. It was all about diversity, and it was a nice little read. So, I just wanted to say to them, thank you for inviting me, and also thank you to the Friends of the Linden Library for inviting all of us. And it was a good day for us to go out and encourage reading, because as we know, literacy matters. Make sure I got everything. I do the personnel report, which is in front. If anyone wanted to have a question before we go into the report, the reports are down on the table. If anybody from council wants to make a report, I guess it's open to the public before I go into the report. George, Council Brooks. Oh, God, I don't know.
Just one quick thing. I tend to always do this, so thank you guys for bearing with me. I work for the Linden Board of Education, and as a result of that, there's a certain, balancing act that I have to maintain with regard to my position here. But I have to say thank you to a person, and yes, there is a level of confidentiality here, so obviously I cannot discuss all of it. But with regard to a particular situation, Ms. Tango, I appreciate all the help you gave. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're so nice. All right, so the personnel report is going to start, but I do want to say that our committee this year, there are 4 of us on the committee, and, we discuss items and we bring them to the full council for support. What we're doing this year, and we're doing it, I think at a good pace, is we're initiating training. And I think I discussed it last month. The staff who we expect to know certain things and have certain skills need to have those skills taught to them in some cases or refreshed. So I'm pleased that on the 22nd, all department heads, division heads, and managers, as well as some of the council members, will be attending a training which is dealing with change, because we know that change is difficult. And those of us here, I've been here, this is my 6th year, but the changes for the employees, because you all have to deal with different personalities. It may change over the course of years. You have to deal with a number of different employees, and it's an important workshop. I hope that we get something out of it. We are also training on, computer applications. We're trying to streamline our processes and make sure everything is, efficient, and nobody's working harder than they need to. So I wanted to just thank the committee members for, seeing that vision, and hopefully we can see the vision to fruition in the near future. And I'm going to read the report as a whole, and then we're going to vote on it. From the Personnel Division, the approval for the following FMLA medical leave is requested. Employee 000074, intermittent FMLA from February 1st until August 31st, 2016. Employee 001046, FMLA, from January 25th, that's Ashley's birthday, until April 11th, 2016. Then we have employee 005908, intermittent FMLA/NJFLA, from February the 1st until December 31st, 2016. Employee 106914, from February 18th until April 4th, 2016. Employee 000136, FMLA, from 1/26/16 until April 12/16. Employee 909074, FMLA, from February 19th until April 4th, 2016. Employee 00811417, intermittent FMLA and JFLA, from February 1st until December 31st, 2016. Employee 909203, FMLA, from February the 1st until February the 15th, 2016. Employee 000724, intermittent FMLA, from February the 1st until December 31st, 2016. Item number 2 is a reminder to all employees that the city policy regarding the changing of an employee's retirement date without the need for authorization from the city's council is 90 days prior to the retirement date, which was submitted to the Division of Pension and Benefits. Number 3, the Division of Public Works, Public Property, and Recreation, the approval for the seasonal lists, which are on file in the Treasurer's Office, and we did something different. We actually put the names of those who were supposed to be hired as seasonals, which is a 6-month appointment to the temporary assignment in DPW, on the list, so we're going to read those names. The hiring of the following as seasonal laborers for Division of Public Works at an hourly rate of $10, effective March 16, 2016, subject to the successful completion of the pre-employment requirements. and there are quite a few of those. Number 1, George Alves. Number 2, Alexandro Primavera. Number 3, Angelo Antistaso. Did I mess it up? Oh, Antanasio. I apologize. Timothy Campbell Cremante. Number 5, Oscar Guff. Number 6, Joshua Reyes. Number 7, Derek Cohen. Number 8, Daniel Frankel. The following names were submitted as seasonal for the Recreation Division programs, subject to the following completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. Stacy Beltran as a day camp director at the hourly rate of $11 effective March 15th to September 30th, 2016, and Karen Villamar as the art teacher at the hourly rate of $15 effective March 15th, 2016 until September 30th, 2016. That's what I'm asking for, and I'm requesting a second.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes, for all except for items 3.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
I'm voting yes, but for item 3, specifically number 5, I'm going to have to abstain.
Sadowski?
I vote yes for all of them except for number 3. I vote no.
Strano?
Yes to all items except number 3, I vote no.
Yemakaitis?
Yes to all items except number 3, I vote no.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Oh, I'm still talking? I still get to speak? Okay, thank you. No, I'm not done. So, there you have it, folks. We just voted to hire folks for 6 months, and we also gave employees what they're entitled to for FMLA. You have some folks who have decided that these positions should be political appointments and chose to vote no. And, I mean, that's our prerogative. We need to firm up our policies here. When I got on council in 2012, we finally adopted a policy that said all jobs are going to be publicly posted. These jobs are no different. When we were here several months ago, there was an invisible list. We're having a list that's going to be culled from January until June. Anybody who's looking to get this temporary seasonal assignment must put in an application. The application is going to live in the personnel division. This way, nobody can question who's eligible and who's not eligible, who put the application in, who slid it under someone's door. So at the end of the day, we want to have transparency, and that's the goal for me here. Now, having said all of that, we're going to revisit our hiring policy. I know we had some issues, and we're looking at making sure that the residency checks out, that when someone comes in and they get hired, that they do have the appropriate level of education. January, I think, or December, we voted that all hirees at minimum should have a high school diploma or an equivalent. That's something that we did not have in the past. And we're also looking at strengthening our background check ordinance. So just, you know, not to take anything away from anybody because we all vote our conscience here. I just wanted it to be clear because, you know, the people on these lists, you know, they want to probably, well, what did I do wrong or who it is? You shouldn't have to be politically connected to be on the back of a garbage truck for 6 months. That's all I wanted to say. And the last thing in my announcement is on April the 16th, we are having our budget presentation, which we normally schedule, and I was grateful to our treasurer, CFO, Mrs. Zach. She's going to be in the 5th Ward. Anyone in the city of Linden who wants to come, take a hard look at the budget, answer or ask any questions, come 6:30, Linden Multipurpose Center on John Street, and we're going to have a budget presentation for the members of the public who want to attend. I can be reached at 908-718-7933. And if you wanted to get on my text list, you can text 07036 to 84483, and I'll add you to my text list. I feel just like a commercial, but that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Sadowski.
Sorry, Bob.
Okay, I have to announce some of the city things first. The following licenses, permits, and transcripts issued in the city's clerk's office during the month of February 2016 and fees received had been turned over to the municipal treasurer of the city of Linden. There was 101 birth, death, marriage transcripts, $1,515. 22 marriage and civil union licenses, $67,000. State, $550. No domestic partnerships, 3 miscellaneous revenues, $30. No bingo raffles, 195 EDRS vital statistics, $3,030. 1 burial permit fee, $5. Interest earned, $48, for the total of city, $4,646.48. The state, $550. Do this for the city clerk's office. The city clerk's licensing division is submitting this month's monthly report for the month of January 2016. The office issued 14 dog licenses and 40 miscellaneous licenses and collected $5,945. The city clerk's license division for the month of February, the office issued 3 dog licenses and 20 miscellaneous licenses and collected $2,961. Okay, for the, I guess mostly the people in the 6th Ward now. They are resurfacing many of the streets. The city has gotten priorities. I put my streets in, they make the final decision. So if you have a street in, it's up to them which is the worst street, and they will do those streets. Good news for down towards the highway. The county and the city are combining efforts, and they're gonna try to clean up the mess at Pleasant and Route 19, excuse me. That's in the works now. They're working with that. The DPW is working just as hard. Once that gets fixed, it will be fixed. I'm going around myself anyhow. Any curbs or sidewalks to be fixed for next year, please give me a call. I'm trying, if you need tree trimming, the same thing. This is for next year. The police and the traffic are checking on traffic on Wood Place and Linden Avenue. It's become a speedway. You park a police car out there, it slows them down. So that's being done. I want to thank the DPW for one huge tree. That was a menace. They are in the process of cutting it down. It's a safety hazard. I want to thank them for what they did. A few people have called me up the last couple of days, said they couldn't get in touch with me. My phone has been out for 4 days. That's Verizon. Finally, it's there. So please, if you can, give me a call on that, or call the city clerk's office. They'll give me a message. That's my report. Have a good week. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Sadowski. Before I go to Councilman Strano, Councilwoman Cosby, you mentioned chair yoga?
Chair yoga.
What is that? You sit there and you listen to music?
Check it out. The chair yoga, I actually worked up a sweat. I'm not trying to be funny, but like I really need to lower my blood pressure, lower my stress. And the girl Nicole was awesome. Her voice was calming, and we sat quietly. We did the movements. We burned calories, and we reduced our stress. I wish that your nurses were here because one of them participated with us, and so did the health officer. But yeah, chair yoga, it's free, and come. If you don't understand it, just come. Everybody's welcome, and we're gonna be doing it. We trying to be healthy together.
All right, thank you. Councilman Strano?
Thank you, Council President. I don't have any committee reports, but I do have some informative information that I'd like to get to the residents of Linden as well as the 7th Ward. First, I would like to thank the fire department for coming down to Trimley Point to the 7th Ward Rec Center. They did a presentation that I did not know was available, but it was all on fire prevention and some of the simple things that you wouldn't think of, and some things that were quite involved and answered a lot of questions. They did a great job. It was Fire Inspector Dan Stanley and Deputy Chief Larry Kalesa. and I want to publicly thank them for a great job, and I also want to thank the chief for showing up and speaking with the people as well. The meeting was held March 8th on Tuesday night at 7 p.m., and they stayed there for quite a while. It was, they were very accommodating, and I really appreciate it. On Trimley Point Road, we're still having a problem, even after we installed the median and the big urns that are there. We're still getting 18-wheelers that are negotiating that turn and coming down Trimley Point Road to access the warehouses that are actually on the other side of Southwood Avenue. So the engineering department has informed me that we have purchased bollards, which are like about 6-inch diameter pipes that are filled with concrete that will be probably sunk in a good 5 feet into the ground and concreted in as well, to try to prevent trucks from turning there and narrowing it down so that they can't make a turn with an 18-wheeler or even a big straight job. You know, they hit those, they're going to damage their trucks, because we did find one of those urns about 300 feet down the road. The truck just dragged it down the street. They're just incredible. I want to give the residents of the 7th Ward and the city of Linden a warning about Avenue C. Avenue C is that stretch of roadway that is between Lower Road and the Walmart shopping plaza. That roadway does not belong to the city of Linden. It's a private roadway. We legally cannot patch those potholes, and they're dangerous. I think you could lose not a wheel, I think you lose a whole car in those potholes. They're really bad. But I just want people to know that the city of Linden cannot legally touch them without becoming liable for any damage that occurs there. So just be wary, be careful. The owners have been contacted. Right now, they're basically telling us they're not going to fix it. And, you know, it's an impasse. Just be careful when you're going over there. I don't know what recourse we have for that in the future. At this time, I'd like to yield the remaining minutes that I have to defer to Chief Dooley, and he will give an update on the railroad crossing quiet zone that we're seeking at Lower Road near Public Works. Chief?
Thank you, Councilman. First, I just want to say thank you for acknowledging Deputy Chief Kalesa and Inspector Stanley. It's nice to see that everybody values their service to the community. I'm in receipt of this month's report for Remington and Vernick, or the engineers the city hired to get the quiet zone established. The letter we've been waiting for from Conrail regarding the equipment necessary to create a quiet zone has arrived. There are 2 pieces of equipment we need to have there. One of them is present, the other is not. We have received an estimate on what it's going to cost. And then we were also notified today that there will be some sort of lump sum payment for routine maintenance and upgrading of this equipment after it's installed. We're fortunate that we do have the grant from Phillips, which is going to accomplish a few things down there for us, so that most of this will be covered through that grant process. And once we get a timeline and the idea of the additional cost, we'll, as they say, cross those train tracks when we have to. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. And a report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Strano. Councilwoman Makaitis?
Thank you, Council President. I'd just like to start off that a comment was made. I'm a member of the Personnel Committee, that political appointments are trying to be made. I just ask anyone, if you have a question on that, look at the previous hires within the last 2 years and see what ward they come out of or who they're connected to. That's what Mayor Armstead asked the council to consider. You know, all of us up here, we have people that are out of work, people that call us looking for jobs. He just asked if we could spread the wealth around. I know my ward, as people often say, feels some kind of way. We always feel like we're last at the table, and the time has come. We're going to be first at the table for once. So this is not a political thing. This is about everybody having fair representation from every ward here. It's ridiculous what goes on sometimes, and it needs to be looked into. It's not political. I ask, if you have any questions, pull some of the reports from the previous year. Ask for the minutes. You'll see what we are talking about. Everybody deserves a fair shake. It was brought to our attention that some of the people on this list have just moved to Linden possibly 3 months ago. while you have other people that have applied that have lived here all their lives, several years. Show me the fairness, and then tell me it's political. Now on to the rest of my report, Council President. From the Fire Department, the Fire Prevention Bureau collected a total of $4,180.84 for the month of February 2016. The Ambulance Reimbursement Systems Incorporated deposited a total of $50,879.78 for the month of February for the ambulance billing system, adding to the total deposits for 2016 a total of $94,991.51. Phillips 66 donated $100,000 to the Linden Fire Department for the installation of early warning equipment and upgrades to the Lower Road Railway crossing. This funding came through the Phillips 66 Philanthropy Grant Program. The grants will be used to install early warning equipment to notify the Linden Fire and Police Departments as to when the train is blocking Lower Road, which is a real problem in the city. This will allow for a faster response time in this area. This grant will also be used to make improvements necessary to create a quiet zone for the Lower Road crossing. By establishing a quiet zone, the trains will no longer have to sound their whistle before crossing Lower Road. This quality of life issue for the 7th Ward residents has become a priority of Mayor Armstead and 7th Ward Councilman Ralph Strano. I request approval that we accept the $100,000 donation from the Linden Fire Department and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling? Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Okay, Phillips 66 Bayway Refinery also presented a donation of $50,000 to the Linden Fire and Police Departments for the purchase of vehicle-mounted computers. The computers will be used on the Linden Department's engines, ladder trucks, ambulances, and command vehicles. The Linden Police will assign the computers to their newest patrol vehicles. The computers will also allow the Linden Fire Department to have critical information at their fingertips when responding to emergencies throughout the city. I make a motion that we accept the donation of $50,000 from Phillips 66 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Okay, the Fire Prevention Bureau is also going to be working in the community once again in April. From April 11th to April 14th, they will be canvassing the 5th and 8th wards once again for residents interested in having smoke detectors installed. On April 16th, the Red Cross will be working with the fire department to finish up the installation in the 5th and 8th wards. Just so you know, if you see them canvassing the area, they will put out signs in advance again, I'm told, to alert residents, so you'll know they'll have proper ID on and everything. So it is a great program to take advantage of. For the 8th Ward report, last night we had a discussion in caucus regarding some of the concerns many of my residents in the 8th Ward and myself are having regarding the installation of gas and water lines. I requested that we have someone from the city make a punch list. We have a lot of damage being done to sidewalks, curbs, city property. So they're having an engineering meeting, I'm told, tomorrow, so I was invited to attend that. I will be, and, expressing my concerns. And I will also be making a punch list. You could bet your bucks on it. So I will report on this further. Trees, we still have some trees in the 8th Ward that I'm waiting to get done. I haven't forgotten about you. I'll be resubmitting them again. So hopefully we will have our tree list from last spring completed. I have been receiving complaints about dog waste in the ward. Some people are not picking up after their dogs, or we have instances where they drop the dirty bags in front of people's houses or in their driveways. Please dispose of your pet waste properly. Warnings can be sent to people that are doing this, so please, if you know if there's happening to you, know where they live, call me. We'll send them a letter and issue them a warning. The 8th Ward will be having our annual aid hunt this Saturday, March 19th at Milkowski Park at 11 a.m. sharp. Our rain date is Saturday, March 26th. All are welcome to attend. Milkowski Park is located on the corner of Bettle Place and South Park Avenue, and we'll also be having our special visitor once again to this event. I've been asked to remind everyone that Folis will be having their pancake fundraiser this Saturday, March 19th, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Applebee's in Linden. Please come out and support our furry friends. Folis, as many of you know, is a nonprofit group that helps find homes for cats and dogs. And I can tell you that the volunteers have been working very closely from Folis with our Newark Humane Society, trying to find homes for the cats and dogs that are picked up from Linden. So it's a great organization. Please come out and try to support them. Tickets can be bought at the door. And lastly, I want to mention on Monday, April 25th, I will be hosting a special informative meeting for the group Moms Demand Action Against Gun Violence for their presentation of the Be Smart Gun Safety Program at the Gregorio Center at 6:30 p.m. All residents are encouraged to attend, but this presentation is for adults only. They give out, I've attended one already, and it's wonderful, the information that is given out, things as a parent you never thought to ask. So I will have something on the city website with more information, and I will also be scheduling a budget presentation for the 8th Ward. I will get that information out to the residents. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Are you going to have the Easter Bunny there for your account?
You had to spoil surprise.
I'm sorry. Okay, we don't know if the Easter Bunny will be there. Councilman Medina.
Yes, thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. I have a few items for the 9th Ward, but I'm just going to continue and piggyback off of my counterpart here, Councilwoman Jamakaitis, in reference to the gas company and the water company. We actually have the gas company installing these new high-pressure lines in the 9th Ward, I believe between Elmwood Terrace all the way to the Cranford line past Raritan Road. I might be wrong, I might be off by a block or two, but it's creating a mess. They're not cleaning up after their work. There's gravel over the place, there's unevenness in the road. You know, we did have our meeting last night, and I was pretty upset because at the end of the day, you know, we have great people in this city. This is a diverse city, culturally and income-wise. And if this was occurring in any other township, let's just say Cranford, I guarantee you they will clean up their mess and they will leave us spotless. I think we're not being treated fairly by the gas company. I think they're just coming in, doing what they have to do, and they have to come back and tie the homes. So right now they're just laying the actual line, and then they have to come back and break. It is an inconvenience to our residents, but at the end, I understand that they have to upgrade their infrastructure to better provide us with a service, a reliable service that we depend on every day to cook and heat our homes. So they're going to have a meeting tomorrow. I'm unable to attend, but I did ask Councilwoman Jamakaitis to fill in my shoes. She knows the concerns, her own concerns, engineering, and our engineer knows, yeah, very similar concerns, but we'll hope to nip this in the behind and communicate clearly to the contractors and the gas company that we're not happy and we expect some changes soon. Also, I'm working on a few items that I actually been working on since 2015, and a lot of residents have been calling me throughout the city. One of my top priorities for this year is really to upgrade the intersection of DeWitt and Raritan Road, that intersection, that light. If you guys are familiar with that intersection, you can never see on the Raritan Road if the light is red, because those louvers, it's old technology, and there's birds that are creating their nest in there. Now, the problem is the city of Linden does not maintain those lights. There was a deal made years ago, before I was born, that Cranford is to maintain those lights. But it is on county property, on county road. We'll be sending another email to the county, asking them to please come and look at the intersection, the lights. We have a lot of accidents there. A lot of people run that intersection. It's very busy in the morning, as some of you folks know that are here or even at home listening to this meeting. And I'm just trying to avoid another really bad accident or tragedy. So I'm hoping to get some cooperation from the county and hopefully some monies to upgrade that intersection with those lights. Again, a lot of it is out of our control, but I have been in contact with the city of with the townships of Cranford, and Lieutenant Davenport is the traffic division manager there. And he's been kind to listen to me, and he agrees with my issues, and they've been doing the best they can to maintain that intersection on DeWitt and Raritan Road. Also, it's a fairly short report. I'm also aware about the accident on Summit and Princeton. That's another item I've been working on to make that a four-way stop sign. I know not a lot of people are fans of four-way stop sign, but it seems like we have more cars, more speeders, more people not paying attention, more technology that's just taking our eyes off the road. We had another bad T-bone accident there around 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's not going to be the last one either. I know all 4 families on that corners, and they won't do any repairs to their fences until the issue is resolved in that intersection. Actually, I fear that intersection. I always stop when I'm on Princeton Road before I get to Summit, because it's just people just blow it. It's just that amazing. So I asked for 2 things. Reconsideration for that intersection from last year, and in the meantime, to upgrade the stop signs to LEDs if we have them in stock, and if it's in the budget as well. I think they work. It gets people's attention, and people do stop. So our police department are doing the best they can to enforce all of our traffic laws throughout our city, but as everyone here is aware, you see the news, we do have bigger issues, but I consider every single issue throughout the city serious. So I just ask the people of the 9th Ward, just be a little bit patient. That's one of the things I learned when I first came on board, that unfortunately in government, it doesn't move as fast as you want it to be, but there's procedures that need to be followed. Also, I'm going to be working with Councilwoman Hickey. We're going to be working on some dates for community meetings. We're also going to work on a date where we can invite our CFO to have a joint meeting to discuss our budget. Most likely will be held at Linden Presbyterian Church. If you are on Facebook, we do have a community Facebook page, Linden 9th Ward and Linden 10th Ward. It's difficult to get out flyers and get kids and whatnot, so we try to communicate by phone, email distribution list, and the Facebook page. So please pay attention to that. And I always encourage anyone that gets these messages to share with their neighbors in case they're interested in attending this meeting. I'm also working on my newsletter. I hope to have it out by the end of April, not beginning of May. And it will have some events, our picnics and whatnot, and some things that I'm currently working on for the 9th Ward. Lastly, the Linden Citizen Association will be having an active shooter presentation on March 17th at 7 p.m. That's over here in the VFW building right next to the train station, across the street from the train station, right next to the track, which I believe is Pennsylvania Railroad. Pennsylvania Avenue, excuse me. That's at 7 p.m. All are welcome to attend to be part of that presentation on active shooters. Besides that, that's all I have. It is getting warmer out there. We have daylight savings time now, so it makes you feel like you still have a life when you come out of work. Besides that, please drive safe, be careful, enjoy time with your family, and that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Hickey?
Good evening, everybody. I have a very short report tonight because everyone has said everything already. It was a beautiful day this past Saturday for the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade. For those of that attended, it was just the most perfect day, an amazing job they all did. Also, it was nice of the FMBA to invite council members to their annual dinner, and it was really, really a nice time, and I just wanted to thank them. Potholes, I know they're serious again. We had a few days of rain. They can't patch when it's wet out. They are working on all of them. I am still waiting on what roads we are going to get paved this year, because I want to see with engineering exactly where the water company will be working, so this way we could get the most pavement for our yes. I am working on a newsletter. It should be out by the mid-April. I want to have it out before Councilman Medina and I have our 9th and 10th Ward community meeting. We find it easier to have it together. Nice day out. Everybody can even walk there. So we'll get that out. And as he said, also on Facebook, etc. The nice weather is coming. Please slow down. So many complaints down Princeton Road, Forest, Amherst. You know, somebody's going to get hurt. I really wish everybody would slow down a little. I'm certainly not afraid to call the police department and say, please start issuing tickets, even if it was to my husband or family member. You know, the safety of the kids, they don't always think when they ride a bike. I want to just thank CFO Alexis Zak and Chairman Brown. Every year, well, I'm on the Finance Committee again, and they're always teaching me so much, and it's very informative. And they really did a great job. Well, everybody did a great job this year with their guidance, and I just wanted to thank them for that. Trees, I know I still get phone calls on trees. We are getting to them. There are some people that they've been waiting for 8 years, but we're getting to the point where we're on top of it, and we are getting it done. With that being said, I just want to wish everybody a very happy St. Patrick's Day and a happy Easter. And thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hickey. From the Engineering Committee, I have really no report, except to say that the gas company and the water company, as has been mentioned before, they are upgrading our lines. I asked for a little bit of patience. We're going to be having a meeting to make sure that everything that is being damaged gets fixed and gets left either the way it was or even better. Talking about the water company, I want to bring something a little bit personal. On April 23rd, going to be having a fundraiser for something called Sandals for Haiti. As everybody knows, I'm an engineer, and my boss is obviously an engineer. He belongs to the Church of the Good Shepherd, the Lutheran Church in Old Bridge. And they send missions to Haiti, especially an orphanage in which they sponsor. And they need water. These are kids that are not complaining that the water gets cut off for a couple of hours, but that they have no water. Imagine having to walk from here to Woodbridge to pick up some water, to bring it back, to be able to have food. So we are going to be going, there's 4 engineers who are going on this mission in order to build a couple of wells and some sanitary sewer that they are in desperate need. This is through the Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd. We're having a fundraiser April 23rd at the Promenade. We're going to have a barbecue and some movies for the day starting at 6 o'clock. This is being sponsored by the Cultural and Heritage Committee. Anybody interested in donating? If you go to HaitianChildren'sMinistry.org, you will be able to see what this is all about, and it's basically started as Sandals for Haiti. We're going to be collecting not only sandals, but underwear, T-shirts, anything that's not perishable when we go over there and we bring it. Everything else we'll probably have to buy over there in order to be able to do the potable water and the sanitary. There is a gentleman out there that says he wants to make America great again. What's so funny is America is great. And the reason America is great, because we have great Americans. And we always come through when we need it. Maybe an earthquake, a hurricane, or any other necessity, we come through. So America is great because of the people we have here. I'm asking the people of Linden, come out April 23rd. Help out, because Sandals for Haiti is something that's needed for a lot of kids in Haiti. It's something that we take for granted here, like water, sanitary, and shoes. So please come out. Any questions, get in touch with me, and I will fill you in. My phone number is 908-759-6510. Again, if you want to go into the website, the Sandals for Haiti, Children's Ministry, HaitianChildren'sMinistry.org. If you decide to make a donation there, where it says sponsor, put Linden, so they know that the people from Linden come through and help out. Thank you. At this time, we will go into the resolutions, 2016-131 through 2016-151. First, I need a motion to remove
144.
2016-144. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion for the removal of Resolution 144 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Is there any resolutions that anybody wants to have comments on? Ms. Malik? Yes, ma'am. 135, 136, 141? Okay. 151? That's it? Anybody, sir, your name? Ed, 140, what's your last name? Kaminsky? Kaminsky. I'll mess up anyway, but I'll try it. And that was 141? Can I please have a motion for Resolution 2016-131 through 2016-151 for the exceptions of 135, 136, 141, and 151?
Council President, since you said it all, I make a motion to accept resolutions excluding the ones that you just mentioned.
Second.
And call for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes, with the exception of 148.
And you're voting
Yes or no? Abstain.
yes or no?
No.
Oh, I forgot to vote no on that.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Mallard, can you please come up? $135, ma'am?
135. What exactly does this Mark Clark do as the financial services, financial planner for the city?
Mrs. Sack?
Yes, the City of Linden has two deferred compensation plans. This is for one of the plans. Mr. Clark is the representative that the city deals with for our employees on behalf of the Voya Financial. This resolution actually had been on the agenda in January and in error had been removed, so we're just, again, putting it back on. We've been dealing with Voya for about 30 years. Previous to Voya, it had been known as ING.
All right, so you're saying that, so he comes up with what exactly?
He assists the employees if they have any questions dealing with their deferred compensation.
Okay, it's like for investments or whatever?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
Can I have a motion for Resolution 135, please? Okay, yes. Thank you. Mrs. Malik, 136?
What does this deed restriction really consist of for 136?
Mr. Antonelli?
Thank you, Council President. Ms. Malik, this is actually city-owned property that currently, before this resolution is adopted, reserved unto itself about 1,200 square feet for recreational use, and in June and November, it also served as a polling place. The city no longer needs the 1,200 square feet for its own use. Some of the recreation activities will be relocated. It's my understanding the Board of Ed will be using it for educational purposes only, so this resolution authorizes the execution of a new deed, removing this 1,200 square feet that the city reserved for its own use. However, there is a restriction that still remains in the deed that requires the Board of Ed to use the property for educational purposes.
So it's going to be all Board of Ed now?
That is correct.
Gotcha, okay.
Mrs. Malik, let's go to 151. We'll go back to 141 after.
Okay, you said 151?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so the Brown and Brown is risk manager for the city of Linden. What does he do?
Ms. Antonelli?
Thank you, Council President. This actually is a resolution it's an annual resolution appointing, in this case, Brown & Brown as our risk manager. They work with the Garden State Sheriff, our insurance company, and others to obviously make sure that the city is doing all that it can to safeguard against certain risks, make sure certain programs perhaps could be implemented with its employees. So it's just a standard resolution that we adopt every year.
All right, so give me an example of, like, risk management.
Yeah, and like in other words, there may be a certain program, the risk manager, in looking at certain claims, may
So
realize
it's
that
financial risk.
financial and a way to reduce risks and claims. So, for example,
Okay.
if we see a spike in claims in DPW, for example, there may be ways to reduce the amount of workers' comp claims and other claims, you know, based upon what they review.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Ms. Malik, 141?
All right. Is there any way I can find out for the different costs here? The first one, the Wood Avenue, Scape Street, for almost $1 million. What we're really considering to be put, or how that money's going to be used?
Mrs. Sack?
Yes, what this resolution does is it sets a temporary capital budget. So all these items you'll see in the adopted budget for the capital purposes. The first item is a continuation of our streetscape project that we are also anticipating additional grant funding for. But in order to keep the project on Wood Avenue, this was a grant that we had received several years ago. We need a mechanism that allows us to authorize spending. We do that through our capital budget, and we offset the debt service with the grants. So this is part of the project that you see on Wood Avenue.
Hold on a second. You're answering the wrong question. I want to know the detail for where this money is being spent. So it's $1 million, but we're spending it on...
Wood Avenue streetscape, pedestrian improvements. Mr. Verchik, do you have any specific details?
Is this written up somewhere if I just wanted to get a copy of something, just to read what's included? I know we did some things like the curbs and...
Yeah, the next phase is from Pennsylvania Railroad Avenue to Blanky Street, and also by one school, Safe Routes to School.
What are they doing?
Going to widen the sidewalks,
right,
reduce the
you heard that.
roadway, and slow down traffic.
Okay.
And add benches and lights and everything like
The
that,
thing about-
trees.
The thing about widening the streets, last year we were talking about that, so that was last year's budget, or...
It's an ongoing project, so we
okay.
have a capital account where you go year from year, and you also additional grant funding we receive. So it's an ongogoing project that this is
Right.
part of. This is the next phase of it, I believe, what Mr.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of
Verchik
know what's entailed, as you said, Councilman Brown, the details of it. Okay. I'd still like to
Councilman
get
Brown, you want
copies
to
of
answer?
that.
Yeah, one thing that's not, that we didn't speak about, is also making improvements on Elizabeth Avenue, Wood Avenue, that intersection. And that's been a big issue of mine because of the pedestrian safety.
What's it, Elizabeth Avenue and...
And Wood Avenue, that intersection there. So the grant should be covering, making some improvements in that area, as well as down towards the Sixth Ward, by Councilman Sadowski, trying to improve safety down there.
Yeah.
So maybe
I just wanted a delineation of what these improvements are. That's all I'm asking. All right. So the next one is the Dell laptops and vehicle mounts. I assume this is for police cars. Like, how many vehicles to the tune of about $176,000? Laptops aren't expensive. Vehicle mounts maybe are a little bit, somewhat expensive, but how many
Mrs.
vehicles
Sack,
are we
do we know how
talking
many?
for?
While she's getting that number, that's to replace the whole fleet. I understand that. We're not talking about regular laptops that you have at home. These are durable, tough books
Right.
that will last us a couple of years. I think the last upgrade in these were probably roughly about 10 years, Ms. Sack, I
So
believe.
just how many vehicles
So-
we're talking about here? That's all I just want to know.
I can get you the exact information. I don't have that readily available. These ordinances are on for first reading. This is a resolution just setting the temporary capital budget. I believe...
To have a capital budget, they
when
have
we-
to have some idea for how many vehicles.
Yeah, well, again, maybe Captain Turbot may know the exact number of vehicles. I'm not sure with the police department. I thought I had that backup information, but I don't seem to have it readily available.
Does the captain have any
Captain,
idea?
do you have an answer for that?
just roughly how many vehicles are we talking about?
And it was for the replacing the computers and the mounts in pretty much all the regular patrol vehicles, which I'm guessing is going to be between 10 to 12. Could be additional ones here, but I don't believe they've been replaced for the last 10 years. We're actually putting in the budget, we're asking for 4 new vehicles, 4 new SUVs, which would be the full amount that they'd have to install in there.
That's a pretty expensive changeover. Even if you have like 17 vehicles, you're talking about $10,000 a pop for a vehicle to make this? Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. The next thing is NIC cards, the one below that, 154,000. What are these cards? What is this?
That's the computer equipment that's going to go for the, in the firehouse, for in case we have to close City Hall, the police station's closed, we can move everybody from dispatch and still continue operating on a limited basis. So all that equipment, we've already started that project a few years ago, it's ongoing, and that's going to be the rest of the, if we had a natural disaster or disaster in this building, we'll still be able to operate.
Well, I guess what I'm confused is, what exactly is an NIC card?
This is all the computer equipment.
Oh, all right.
We'd have to get Charlie in here to explain exactly
Okay.
what it is.
All right, and then the last question that I have under these projects is the assessment and planning study for the Linden Police Department, and what's really entailed in this?
I believe that's, we spoke about this before, for the, whether we're going to renovate the current police department or have a new building.
Okay, and I assume that this study is being done, we have an outside consultant that's earmarked to do this?
Yes.
All right, and this has been like bidded on, or we're just appropriating the money for the eventual study to be done?
I'd have to defer to Ms. Sack.
We're appropriating the money, and we'll be looking into the various professionals that could do this.
Okay, fine.
Councilman Brown?
No, I was going to say the same thing. Yes, it's for a firm, and it's not a matter of just planning they're going to look at the location, look at whether it's going to be here in City Hall. Do we extend City Hall out by the parking garage, the building across the street, another location, the planning behind it, and make sure that the police department is brought up to par with what we need from a federal and state level, as far as the meets and bounds and the guts within the police station. So
Right, so why do we have to go outside to do this? We can't really assess it
No.
inside?
this is like one company, for example, that would like to take on this project is the same one that did the sheriff's office. I believe that's the sheriff's office, right, in Westfield? So it's a specialized project. It's not a matter of like building a house. There's certain equipment, networking, and things that need to be in the police department that we don't
Okay.
have the expertise to.
Good, all right, thank you.
Ms. Cosby, you want to say something on the matter?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm not going to answer your question at all, Mrs. Malik. I'm just going to make a observation. The police department, we know, is in need of improvement. There was a study done by Rutgers a couple of years ago, and there's an empty lot, and Mayor Bunker had previously had studies and renderings and all kind of stuff for a justice complex, and that was going to be shared with Roselle. And so before we spend a bunch of money to redo the same thing we already did, I'm just thinking we'll revisit that and maybe give the guys and girls in the police department something new, something fresh, and something safe.
Council
I'm just
President.
saying.
Yes, Mr. Brown.
Yeah, I just want to make a correction, and it was not a study done by Rutgers. What happened is that under the former mayor, is that he was looking for funding from the private and public sector. And whenever you have the private and public sector coming together, your interest rate's going to increase. What he was trying to do is trying to find a financing first, and then matter of doing a building. A proper study was not done, so I don't want the public to think that we're spending money to spend money. So what we're doing is, in my opinion, the right way. You have a study that's done by proper professionals with the layout, see what it is that we do need, and then go for the financing based off that. That was not done. We did it in the reverse way. So I just want to clarify that.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Kaminsky?
4 feet on each side.
And then I think Ms. Sack mentioned that this 990,000 goes back a couple of years. I was going to question that as well. Thank you for that clarification. There was also a series of grants that total, I believe it's $1.1 million for the train station area. And to me, this is all kind of related. You want a cohesive, nice downtown area, right? So is any of that money still there, or has that all been spent? And if so, what did it go to besides the graffiti art on the
And go for the graffiti art.
That was
That
free.
was,
Mrs. Sack?
The shrubbery.
Yes, there are funds available. I know Mr. Verchik's been working with our professionals in regards to the streetscape project and our grantsmen. They draw down the funds as we need it. I believe that they have the various engineers that work on doing exactly what we needed done per the grant agreements that we had applied for. We have to be in compliance with that. The very specifics of what is entailed, I don't have readily available, but I could absolutely get you that information with the spend. But I know we didn't expend all the funds as of yet.
and I don't want confusion that the 900,000 should be commingled with the 1 million number. Ms. Zach, what was the total amount of the grant money that we received roughly?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you,
The
Chairman.
total amount of the grant that we received, approximate number.
I don't readily have that available. I can get that information. I don't want to give a wrong number out. But I believe it was over $1.1 million. Maybe Mr. Verchik may have the exact number, but again, this is the next round of funding that we are working on with the state for the streetscape project.
And where I was going with that, Mr. Brown, was, when I say cohesive, not necessarily the money should be commingled, but it's a cohesive area. I mean, there may be legal reasons to keep the money apart, but obviously when someone comes in with the downtown area, you go to Cranford, the Westfield, you see how it's nice and combined. My concern, or where I was going with some of this, was you walk down there now, and they're putting in new sidewalks, and you see 3 different types of sidewalks. There's a lot of disjointed areas, so you want a nice cohesive ad. It's not that everything has to be monochromatic, but, certainly with walkways, if you walk from one block to another, you see different walkways, and then see different walkways, and some of these other walkways were done just 15 years ago. These new ones are being put in for no apparent reason. Redoing it seems to be helping. It just seems like a potential waste of money, and more importantly, how's it being spent? What's the final product going to be? That's where the rubber meets the road. And my initial apprehension, again, maybe I'm missing something in terms of the broader picture, is obviously having that nice look and feel to the downtown area.
So with the one area that you're talking about, and maybe we'll have the grantsman come and explain, that was not supposed to be there. And that was a screw up on many different levels that I don't want to get into. The sidewalks are going to look very similar to what's in front of the building of the that 5-story unit down there. The whole grant money is for cohesiveness, and there is a plan put in place. Everything from the widening of the sidewalks to the street lighting that's going to be replaced to make sure that they line up, to improvements to the pedestrian safety, things of that nature. It's not that each grant is being used for a different purpose. It's just that we've been getting additional grant money for the cohesiveness, and that as we get additional grant money, we want to move the project further down Wood Avenue. So where the grant stops at one street or one block, when we get additional grant money, we want to take that plan and move further down the road. It's just that one stretch that you're talking about underneath the train station, that was an error in itself that we will be looking to get fixed.
So understood. And again, when I look at the downtown area, you have the new building there, but some of the other things, we've been spending money going back in 15, some of my services have been coming to the council meetings, right? And yeah, there's been some incremental changes around the edges, but if we're just ripping up stuff we spent a lot of money for, and, one-way something, especially that quality, should be lasting a while, It seems that we're just we're not doing much fundamentally, we're just pretty much changing walkways. Now, the widening, I agree with, that will help, that's definitely a major upgrade, but I just want to make sure we're getting the biggest bang for our buck. And truly, we're going to put that kind of money into it, positively transforming that downtown area, especially around the crown jewel of the downtown, which is our.
For the walkways.
Thank you, Mr. Kaminsky. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
But real quick, the walkways, I think that's a very important question. A lot of people ask that. But if you go down, you see a lot of holes and things like that. And one of the reasons why the walkways are being replaced is that it becomes a liability to the city. The last thing we want is for residents to trip over one of those holes, and then it comes back towards us as taxpayers to pay for that. I think these walkways haven't been replaced in from what I said, maybe 15, 20 years to some time, way before I was on council. That's a recommendation that came from the SID district as well as from the engineers, that they have to be replaced because of how they're deteriorating, and we want to make sure that residents aren't getting hurt on them.
Ms. Malik?
Just one quick question for Mr. Verjic. We're talking about Wood Avenue has a lot of traffic on it. Right now, we can go 2 lanes or 2 cars in each direction. When we're going to widen this by 4 feet, so we're going to be turning our streets now into one lane in each direction? Is that what you're anticipating?
I can answer that, Mr. Voracek. Yes, ma'am, and Wood Avenue is 1 lane on each way. It's not 2 lanes. And the problem we're having is a lot of the times you have a car that you see the space and you try to pass over. This grant is basically to make it safer, not only for pedestrians, for cars.
So then even when you come to a corner and you've got a left-hand...
That all will be adjusted and will be wide so you can make the changes and make the turns.
All right.
All right, thank you.
And the rationale behind that, and George can speak it from a city engineer perspective, is that, yes, reducing the traffic and reducing reducing the double parking that we have in there. But then also is that as we get development downtown, we're hoping that restaurants would have more outdoor seating. And we see that we need wider sidewalks so that tables and chairs can be put out there.
Okay, I need a motion for 135, 136, 141, and 151.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, ordinances first reading. Mr. Clerk, can you please read ordinance number 60-14?
Bond ordinance authorizing the HVAC conversion at the firehouses and appropriating $44,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $41,800 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
Is there anyone wishing to make a comment? No questions, just comments. Can I have a motion to introduce ordinance 60-14, please?
Introduction for ordinance 60-14, ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read ordinance 60-15?
Bond ordinance authorizing the acquisition of asphalt for the Public Works Department, appropriating $110,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $104,500 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Anybody wish to make a comment? No questions. May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-15 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 60-16?
Bond ordinance authorizing the acquisition of sports utility vehicles for the police department and appropriating $198,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $188,100 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Does anybody wish to make a comment? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-16, ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 60-17?
Bond ordinance authorizing the implementation of a streetscape project along Wood Avenue corridor and appropriating $990,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $940,500 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Does anybody wish to make a comment? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-17, ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 60-18?
Bonds ordinance authorizing the acquisition of various items of capital equipment for the Public Works Department, appropriating $1,172,600 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,113,970 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Anybody wish to make a comment? May I have a motion, please?
Mr. President, I move for introduction and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. You guys are having too much fun here on my left side.
You guys got to change this. I have too much.
Ms. Honan, can you please read 60-19?
An ordinance to establish a cat bank for calendar year 2016.
Anybody wish to make a comment? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-19. Ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 60-20?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-42, Parking Fines, 7-42.1, Fines Established shall be amended as follows. Amend various parking fine amounts.
Anybody wish to make a comment? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-20. Ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 60-21?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 10, Building and Housing, Section 1, Building and Housing 10-2.1, Subcode Fees shall be amended and is hereby supplemented as follows. Delete Section 10-2.1.1H, Building Subcode Fees in its entirety, and add new Section 10-2.1.1H, Building Subcode Fees.
Number 2.
Now reading the rest?
No.
Okay. Does anybody want to make a comment on this motion? May I have, in this ordinance, may I have a motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we move ordinance 60-21 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yep.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read all of 60-22?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-33 Handicap Parking Regulations, 7-33.1A Handicap Parking on Street, delete 632 Maple Avenue, one space.
Anybody wants to make a comment? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make the motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-22 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yep.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 60-23?
Bonds ordinance authorizing the acquisition of various items of technology equipment for the police department, appropriating $418,000 and authorizing the issuance of $397,100 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Anybody wants to make a comment on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for introduction of ordinance 60-23 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 60-24?
Bonds ordinance authorizing an assessment and planning study for the improvement of the police department headquarters and appropriating $55,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $52,250 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Anybody wants to make a comment on this ordinance?
Me too.
Can I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-24 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yep.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
No.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 60-25?
Bond ordinance authorizing the acquisition of various items of capital equipment for the police department and appropriating $77,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $73,150 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Does anybody want to make a comment on this introduction? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-25 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you please read 60-26?
Bond ordinance authorizing the acquisition of various vehicles for and by the city of Linden and appropriating $226,800 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $215,460 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Anybody wants to make a comment?
No.
May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-26 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Honan, can you read the last introduction of ordinances, 60-27?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 4, General Licensing as follows. Section 4-35, Licensing of Taxi Cabs. Delete Section 4-35.1 definitions and add new Section 4-35.1 definitions.
Thank you. Any comments on this introduction?
That's it?
May I have a motion, please?
I move for approval of Resolution 60-27 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. At this time, we're going, comments from members of the public in attendance on city business only. No personal, political, or derogatory comments, not to exceed 5 minutes. Did everybody sign the list? Mr. Kaminsky, can you please come up?
First, congratulations again to the Linden basketball team for their 5th Group 4 title. Was down there to watch it, and what really impressed me was just the motor and intensity these kids had. So congratulations to them, and Coach Colicchio, of course, that instills that kind of motor, because it really, it just amazed me the way they, right through to the end buzzer. And again, congratulations, just a few moments ago, they just won their semifinal in the Tournament of Champions to move on to Thursday, or to move on to the semifinals on Thursday. So continued best of luck, Linden boys there. Couple of kudos too. I know on the website, there's a little section that you could go in and put your alerts from the police departments. I found it personally very useful, very good, very informative. The only suggestion that I would give, because it gives you the opportunity to put in a couple of the local area codes as well. Some other towns tend to make a little bit more robust use of it. And a specific example, they'll give you heads ups regarding street closings. I know in our ward, we had a couple of street closings, some construction going on, and, had to go around the block a couple times, no notice. When I noticed some other towns doing it. So again, not that we're doing anything wrong. I think we're doing very good. Our police department is a very good one, but I think if they're the ones that administering it, just a polite suggestion there that maybe we could make a little bit more robust use of it. We're talking a little bit before, and I spoke about the downtown development. I know we spoke about it, and I personally, several months back, I know Ms. Hero, she had some pretty good comments too, a couple months, all around the same thing, kind of really getting the best bang for the buck, how we're spending our money, and then making the best use of it. One thing that wasn't addressed tonight, and maybe it is in by some of this money, but it's parking as well. One thing that I noticed around the corner of Price Street and Wood Avenue, I guess the fire happened about 10, maybe 11 years ago now. There's been a lot there that's been vacant. I just, kind of eyeballed, depending how you kind of configure parking, that could be anywhere from a half dozen to maybe even a dozen parking spots there. And then when you look at each of the blocks downtown, parked lengthwise, it's what, 7 or 8 spots, if that. You're looking at about another block and a half of additional, in essence, parking space there in that lot that's been sitting vacant since the fire that burnt down that property a while ago. So again, just something to look at. That tends to be the most congested area downtown as well. I know we have some pretty good lots as you move more towards St. George Avenue. So again, something maybe worth exploring if we haven't done so already. Also cameras, it was mentioned about cameras in parks and other places. Again, going back 15 years ago when we did the first relaunch of redoing our downtown area, I know cameras were put in. I think I have bad eyes now, but I think there's still some on the, at the intersection of Wood Avenue and Elizabeth Avenue. My question is, are they working? So it's great to allocate this money and put the cameras everywhere, but like what use is it if these things don't work? The last comment, and this is probably going back to maybe 2-3 years ago, somebody made a comment that maybe it was the chief at the time, that after an accident there, and I believe it was deaths, unfortunately, that the cameras weren't working. So let's, again, make sure our money is used wisely, and if we're going to buy something, make sure it works more than, a short amount of period. Again, might seem obvious, but sometimes we tend to, with a lot on our plate, tend to lose track. The last thing, a little uncomfortable, but in light of things going on in the news and comment made, I have to address, just some comments, Mr. Medina. I don't know you, never met you. You seem like a nice young man, but just the tone of, some of the things of the undertones that you made about the utility company. Just because sometimes things, and to your credit, Mr. Alvarez, you kind of smoothed it over by saying, things don't happen as fast as we want, we have to be patient. I agree. Sometimes things aren't nefarious or just because maybe of your religion, skin of your color. Sometimes we all kind of want things to get done a little faster, or because we don't get our way, sometimes we go automatically to someplace that really, we're leaders, you're leaders. We got to think about the words. They do have an impact, and especially in this town. I mean, I know we had a couple years ago, Mr. Ismail, I believe his name was, from Elizabeth, come in, made some pretty bad accusations, if they were true, with the same kind of undertones against our police department. Fortunately, they were proven wrong because they were on tape. So again, and then unfortunately we had an incident that was all over the news with a member of our football team in the fall, and again, we go right there. And again, I think, we should always, especially you leaders, go with the cooler heads prevailing first and just set the example. And, sometimes there are legitimate situations and gripes. And unfortunately, as we get desensitized to these things, and unfortunately more often than not, I'm seeing a lot of false accusations, the people that really are getting hurt with true instances like this, it kind of lessens their voice. So just a point to consider, just so we're all better off, going forward. So,
thank you, sir. Ms. Vasquez? Nice big smile.
Okay. Sandra Vasquez, Seymour Avenue. Put it down. I talk loud. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm here tonight as the Linden High School Senior Graduation Bash Chairperson. It's going to be happening this year on June 24th. For the people who don't know about Bash, mostly all of you have been there and chaperoned. But what it is, it's a night for the seniors that graduated that day to come together for one last time in a safe, drug and alcohol-free environment. The graduation is early in the morning, and then they normally go home and they celebrate with their families. But then to keep them from going to house parties and possibly drinking and getting into trouble and driving within our community under the influence, we gather them together at the JTG Center We take them on buses. This year, we're going to take them to the Woodbridge Community Center because unfortunately, we don't have a venue in Linden that could support a big group like that. This year, we have about 440 students on the roster. I hope they all graduate. And if they do, with the buses and the food and the entertainment, from 11 o'clock at night till 5 o'clock in the morning, it's about $80 to $90 per student. So we're fundraising like crazy. I've sent out personally over 300 letters to businesses, have gotten some really nice response, but we still have to fundraise. And the kids are gonna be out there in the community. I'm not gonna bore you with the whole list. It's really not boring, but I'm gonna bring it to you piece by piece. The first fundraiser is gonna be April 5th at TGI Fridays from noon till 10 o'clock at night. If you go there and you eat, 20% of the food portion only. So you have to have food. You can't just go and have, a cocktail. It has to be food. And 20% will go towards BASH. And then also the kids will be, in April, they will be out there canning. We're gonna do it at some alternate locations. I mean, you've seen the band kids out there. You'll see them by the 7-Eleven, but we've branched out to the BJ's and the Sam's Clubs. You'll see our senior students there in April canning in front of those businesses, so if you could spare the change. And one last thing, they are selling pasta, and it's at www.funpasta.com, and if you just look up the Mayor's Youth Commission, you can enjoy shopping at your convenience, at home on your laptop, and the pasta gets sent directly to your home, and 50% of those sales are gonna go to BASH. It takes a lot of money. People think that it's because it's the Linden High School students, that it's Board of Ed project, and it's not. It's community funded. It's everybody with their time and their money, and I really appreciate if you see these kids out there to just, give what you can. You are gonna have to have the flyer, unfortunately. So we're gonna have some people in the parking lot handing out the flyers. And I did put them within City Hall, and I know the fire department has it, and PD has it. And that's about it. And
Ms. Vasquez?
Yeah,
Can we get that flyer and put it in the website and download it?
sure, that's a great idea.
Also, will you be able to give me all the numbers?
We have it on
All the
TV
dates?
36,
Okay.
and we put it in a newspaper, the Linden Leader.
Yes.
We did it there. I do have some here, so if you want them, I can give them to you. You can hand them out. And one last thing before I forget, I'm having a BASH meeting next Wednesday, the 23rd at 7 p.m. because I need help. I need chaperones. I mean, we do have the police department chaperoning, but I really like this year to get more parents, educators, all different people to chaperone, because we need chaperones on the buses. I'm not going to get into all the details. You know what it takes. You've been there. So the meeting is next Wednesday at 7 o'clock here in the caucus room, if you would like to attend. That's it.
Thank you. That's it. At this time, I need a motion to close the public comment.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurley?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Okay, anybody from the dais that's interested in speaking?
Yes.
Mr. Brown, 1, 5, 9, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7? Okay, let's start with, Mr. Brown, you going to touch on the cameras?
Always start at iron. Let the other one go first.
Okay, Mr. Strano.
You really want to start with me? Okay.
Armando said you start with you.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's really short. I actually just want to thank Mr. Kaminsky who came up, and thank you for the comments. And, sometimes it does become a little frustrating when you're dealing with 100 phone calls on the same issues, and it feels like you're not getting anywhere. But I do appreciate your comments, especially more serious topics and the way that the message comes out across to the audience. So I do appreciate that, and thank you for spot checking me there. But I just want to just tell you that it is frustrating. I'm sure my counterpart here can share in my frustration as well. She's been dealing with it a little bit longer than I have. But thank you. I just want to say thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Strano?
Microphone. I voted no on that personnel report, and I think it's only fair to those gentlemen that were on that list to let them know that my vote was not against them. My vote was against the process. Supposedly there was a new policy that was instituted, a couple years back. I wasn't here for that, but I was here several years ago when there was a lot of unfair practices when it came to hiring people in the city of Linden. And, I don't intend to repeat that kind of experience again, however long this term is for the rest of this year at least. I'm not going to accept the current practice of having an employee list dropped in front of me the night before a meeting that we're going to vote on, and then, say that I can't question it or this is the way it is. I'm not going to accept that. Maybe some of my colleagues here think that that's acceptable, but I don't, all right? And the explanation is, well, the list is on file the month before. That, to me, is an underhanded way of hiding what really is happening here. And that is, like saying that the list was here, and that was done last month. So if you weren't astute enough to be looking for that list, because we do a lot of those same kind of hirings in the recreation department seasonally. What's the matter?
Time's up.
My time's up.
Yeah, finish it up.
Okay. All right, so the time of fairness is long overdue in this council. And I can't understand what my colleagues are thinking, who's telling them what to do, how to vote, because last night the entire council was in favor of revamping that list in a fair and equitable way, and now tonight, everybody flipped. So I think maybe what we need here is a supply of backbone for this council, and that's my comment.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Cosby Hurling?
Well, I wasn't.
1 minute.
No, I'm getting two because he had 2 minutes and 6 seconds. I wasn't at the meeting last night, and to Councilman Strano's point, the Personnel Committee is 4 people. The Personnel Committee agreed on the report that was read tonight. What he's talking about from last night is the policy wherein people are hired in a seasonal capacity only for the garbage truck, and it would be at the pleasure of the members of the council. Now, I don't agree with that. Now, to his point, Councilman Strano, he used to be here when that's the way it was done. That's not how it's done anymore. For the past 2 years, we have been asking that applications go through the clerk's office, that the applicant is then interviewed, and then that person would be hired or not. The list always existed. It just was never publicized. So there was an issue several months ago with someone who was hired as a seasonal employee, and the comment was made how that person get hired. So as the chairperson of the committee, I recommended to the other 3 members that we have a list, and that list be public, and that the list run from January to June, so that no one can ever doubt when that person applied, how they got on the list, and what the protocol is when we come to hiring. I disagree that I should have a say-so in someone being hired just because they live in my neighborhood. I also disagree that someone should not be hired if they live in my neighborhood and I don't know who they are personally. I just feel like the policy that we have in place for hiring, where all positions are publicly advertised, should be adhered to for every single position. What makes me okay to pick and choose garbage men, but not a clerk? where some clerks are being hired in promotional positions where they should have been somebody who was already in a position promoted to a level higher instead of walking in off the street.
2 minutes.
And I wasn't even going to talk about this because I wanted to just say from the bottom of my heart to my friend Priscilla and to her family that I'm praying for you and I'm praying for your daughter to come home safely. The other stuff is just extra, but I do want to let you know that we're praying for you and we love you and we hope that everything will come out okay for your family.
Thank you. Councilman Brown, you
Okay.
have 2 minutes.
I agree with what Councilwoman Cosby, Ms. Yamakaitis and Ms. Strano said. You see this meeting, in the last meetings, we've been consistent, we've been pretty good. But then when a person who, like she said, was not at a meeting yesterday, throws out that things are political, it's sad. Because the reality is, when you check records, unfortunately, someone got a county job after they were elected, and they reaped the rewards of a political process. I'm not one of those people. But yet, they flip it when they say that we're trying to play politics here. The fact remains is that there were some red flags that I didn't feel comfortable with, and we should be able to vote our conscience without someone throwing it out there that it is political, when, again, they reap the benefits of political, which is part of the public record. So I'll leave it at that. Now, on to some of the issues you brought up. You did bring up some valid things. I just want to clarify some things. The cameras that are at an intersection there on Wood Avenue, the city does not own those. Those cameras were actually fixed and installed for the traffic study that was done, I want to say about 3 years ago. So they were only used for the purpose of a study that the police department doesn't have access to, but the company that did the study. The cameras that we're talking about are going to be cameras that are housed in the police department, where they're going to be used for more of a crime mechanism tools. So like the PAL, where we have some issues, Dobson Park, the train station, where we'll be able to see some of the activity that's happening there and use that as a crime prevention issue. The other thing, as far as the parking, that is a great idea. However, both the city and SID has looked into that lot. The owner of that lot, we've tried to reach out to. We can try and encourage them to build something or even sell it to the city. The only way the city can take ownership of that lot is through eminent domain, which would be a whole legal process, which would require a lot of funds. I agree that should be a parking lot, but yet the city doesn't own that, and we can only take ownership of that if it's through eminent domain. However, on the flip side, since last year, or maybe a year prior, the city has looked into a parking authority or some type of other agency within the city to address parking in this area to accommodate the redevelopment that we're talking about on Wood and Elizabeth Avenue and some of the other spots. So, a report should be coming out sometime relatively soon, but if we do a parking authority, that would be something that they would control and help us fix like it has done in other towns.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Hickey?
Yes, I guess we'll end it, well, no, we'll end it with Council President. First of all, with all due respect, Mr. Strano, we received those names in that letter last week in our council packets to review. And I'm not saying, I think it was also inappropriate for Councilwoman Cosby Hurling to say the word politics. We're obviously all politicians up here. I did see discrepancies when this discussion came up last night on both sides. There were problems on both sides of this issue. I voted yes, because I felt that those people that were on the list were already there. They were told about it. But I said that we need to address this before our next meeting. We need to put policy together to make sure everything is clear. I don't usually come up, when I speak up here, say things against my other council members, but you know what? Some of the comments here today were extremely inappropriate about getting a backbone and other comments, Mr. Strano. So I do have to express that. None of us are perfect. Sometimes we have to agree to disagree, but bringing it up here is not the place to do it. And I'll end it on that.
Thank you. Councilman Brooks, can you say something happy?
Thank you, Council President. I will not speak particularly to what's been said here. I will say this. I vote my conscience, and I reserve the right to change my mind. I don't care if that's last night, today, tomorrow, or anytime. Nobody influences me one way or the other with regard to what it is, how it is I vote, or what it is I vote for. They have exactly the same right. Exercise it. I exercise mine. I don't have to sit here and go through why, just like I don't ask anybody why. You vote your conscience. And if you change your mind, you change your mind. That's it, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Happy birthday, Monty.
Oh, thank you. Happy birthday, Monty. I wasn't told.
How old are you, by the way?
Okay. You know something, people fighting over little things and the things that are going on in the world is something that we should start looking at. But working together, it's obviously it's hard. Just want to remind everybody, April 23rd, Sandals for Haiti. I don't think these kids will be fighting over what's going on in the world, but instead all they want is a little bit of water. Everybody have a happy St. Patrick's Day. Have a good Easter. Pass it with your family. Enjoy yourself. Thank you. At this present time, the following council meeting will be, no, I knew I was jumping something here. I need, call, yes. Okay, the following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting, Monday, April 18th, 2016 at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting, Tuesday, April 19th, 2016 at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, April 19th, 2016 at 7 p.m. in the council chamber, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Byer.
Yes.
Brown. Abstain. Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. Everybody go home, drive carefully, enjoy the rest of the week. Mr. Brooks, happy birthday again.
Thank you very much.